Hi everybody, I hope you're all healthy, happy and well. As promised, we'll chat about some of the email I received today. I received a number of email with the same request. Subscribers asking me to look into Markus Anderson. I think it was with the 10th one that I relented and did some sleuthing. But I can tell you that it's no easy task as the man is elusive and discreet, and there's very little about him in the media. One of my subscribers found an Instagram account, but on investigation, I found that the page does not belong to him, but is rather a fan page of sorts. But here is what I did find, and I'll follow it up with a short version of my opinion. Markus Anderson was born in Peterborough, Ontario, and he is now 42 years old. He left Canada and moved to London when he was only 18, where he found himself a job as a waiter at Soho House, London. There he worked himself up in the ranks, and finally the CEO of Soho House took him under his wing. By the time a new Soho was opened in Toronto, Markus was sent back to Canada to oversee the development and in particular to source new clients and patrons for the establishment. The rest is history. As facilitator for Soho House, Markus now travels the world and is the first person on site at every new or proposed new Soho House. His main task being to ensure that each establishment provides the same services and at the same standard as each and every other Soho House. Markus is also the person who selects and vets their new patrons. As I said, Markus grew up in Ontario. Although not much is known about his childhood, Markus appears to be rather close to his family, or at least some of his family members. As he said in an early interview, that one of his favorite things to do is to go camping with his family. In the same interview, Markus also stated that he is a lover of Tom Ford aftershave and cashmere sweaters. And now for some tea on Markus, one of the few interesting things I've found. On Soho House in Toronto's opening night, Meghan was not there, but local celebrity chef Corey Vitriello was. The same Corey who later became Meghan's boyfriend. Is it just me, or do you also find it more than a coincidence that Markus is said to be the one who also introduced Meghan to Harry, or at least facilitated their budding relationship? I'm just asking. Now there are two different versions of Harry and Meghan's setup or blind date. The first version is that Harry visited Soho House during his stay in Canada for the Invictus Games in 2016. The other version is that Markus was on holiday in Europe with Meghan in the summer of 2016 when he introduced her to Harry at Soho House in London, where Harry was a member. Now, I believe the second version, because if we remember correctly, Piers Morgan actually told us that he was on a sort of a date with Meghan, that she left, that he expected to see her before, not knowing that that very same night she met Harry and the rest was history. She never contacted Piers Morgan again. And then I also think that the Invictus Games was sort of their first public outing. So I think that would be a better timeline. But regardless of that, it is very clear that Markus was very involved in the initial stages of their relationship. It's also said that he has arranged a number of private visits for them in the private rooms in Soho House, and he also gifted them a weekend in Somerset House, wherever that may be. Okay. Meghan and Markus are believed to have met in 2011 when he was working at Soho House in Toronto and Meghan started filming Suits. Markus was also the person who introduced Meghan to Jessica Mulroney, who, as we all know, became Meghan's BFF. Something that I found very surprising is that it is said that it was Markus who advised and suggested Meghan and Harry hire Sarah Latham as their press chief. Apparently, Markus knew Sarah very well and he thought that she would be an excellent fit for Meghan and Harry. I find that very strange as well. Never mind, Markus was also by Meghan's side when she made her first public appearance with Harry, and Markus also travelled with Meghan to New York for her baby shower and handled the media at the time. Again, strange. Is he on their payroll or what? Anyway, after the breakdown of Meghan's marriage to Trevor Engelson, it was Markus who arranged dates for Meghan, and Meghan also wrote and posted about him regularly on Instagram, saying things like, "What would I do without you, my loving, supportive and endlessly fun friend?" Markus is also a close friend of Misha Nonoo, but attended Harry and Meghan's wedding with the PR guru Isabel or Izzy May. Izzy is a University of Sussex history graduate with an impressive career who worked for the London-based PR agency Freud's before becoming Director of Communications for EMEIA at Burberry, and in May 2019 she was part of David Beckham's new brand and his PR for his company DB Ventures. May is rumoured to be one of Archie's godparents and was also in attendance when Meghan launched the Smart Works clothing capsule. Okay, so there's that. It was rumoured that Markus stayed with Harry and Meghan for a while after they returned to Canada and the United States, but there was never any evidence of that. Regardless of other rumours of jealousy between Harry and Markus and a falling out between Markus and Meghan, there's absolutely no indication of any of that. During a recent interview, he was asked about his friendship with Meghan, and he refused to say anything. Instead, he just smiled and shrugged, and it is said that Markus is still Meghan's most loyal and closest friend to this very day. Okay, so that's all I know about Markus Anderson so far. In my opinion, it certainly appears as if Markus played matchmaker between Meghan and Corey and Meghan and Harry. And I find this rather sad, and I'll tell you why. I spent some time studying photographs of Meghan and Markus together, and in my opinion, both Meghan and Markus looked happy and relaxed in each other's company. Even when it is an obviously posed photograph, Meghan's smile and body language look less forced and fake in Markus's company. Markus also looks relaxed and self-assured. It is my humble opinion that Markus and Meghan have a deep and close bond, something which does not come easily to Meghan, but that Markus could not or did not want to provide Meghan with what she craved, namely stability and marriage. It is said that Markus is bisexual, but I do not think it is Markus's sexuality that prevented them from being together as partners, but rather Meghan's ambition and her desire for fame. something she could ensure herself of by marrying somebody rich and famous. So there you have it. When time permits, I'll do a deeper dive on Mr. Anderson, but for now, we at least have something to chew on. Okay, my friends, that's all from me for today. Over the next few days, I'll continue reading out email or answering email via these videos until the new year, whereafter we will, like I said, start our investigations once again. So for now, I'm wishing you a good day, a good week, and if you don't listen to me again before New Year's, I wish you a very happy New Year. Okay, now it's time for me to say bye.